Welcome to Chinese side of cafe. I'm Haji, an English teacher in Japan. Tokyo Olympics Games was over. What kind of impression do you have? I saw two suspects during this Olympics. One is that performances of the athletes were amazing. I respect their performances and their efforts. The other aspect is how much money we need to have an Olympics.Some people use the games in order to line their own pocket, such as building a stadium or holding the broadcasting rights. In addition, this year Olympic Games were held without no spectators. Soon, I'm sure Japan will be in debt. One of an American friend said, the game should have been cancelled, but money talks.Loss of a few lives is an abstract thought, especially when it is not yours. Corona pandemics gave us a chance to realize how much we depend on big companies' money for having Olympic Games. We owe them too much. We, including athletes, cannot ignore the sponsors' opinions, even if we are in danger of the serious illness. Okay, let's get started. Today's theme is...Big companies have a positive effect on society. Students are expressing their opinions. Enjoy.
I think big companies have a good effect on society. Big companies have plenty of money for making new products, so they can create high quality and useful products more easily than smaller ones.Best quality products are useful, which make people's lives better and easy to live in society. Also, big companies have a lot of excellent employees, and most of them have the ability to finish their work quickly, so they can make their own time. This leads to work-life balance. Workers in big companies tend to have the better work-life balance.And they will become a kind of ideal workers. In this way, big companies have a positive effect on society in both a direct way and an indirect one. Big companies will bring us good products and make our life comfortable.
I think that big companies have a positive effect on society. Large companies have a lot of money.Therefore, they have the power to influence not only a national economy, but also the global economy. Large companies are known to people, so their products sell well. The more their products sell, the more benefits they get. It means they have the power to stimulate the economy. Mature companies are also taking the lead in environmental programs. In recent years,Activities focusing on plastic have increased. They are thinking of reducing plastic. As I told you before, large companies are known to people and having a lot of money. That's why their efforts become known to the general public, and it is positive to do some large-scale projects. When various companies will start their own efforts,For these reasons, I think big companies have a positive effect on society.
I think that big companies have a positive effect on society. I have two reasons. First, the big companies can recycle and reduce pollution because they have a lot of money. If they have a lot of money, they can take measures against pollution.and make environmentally friendly products. Second, there are a lot of employees in big companies, so they can often take days off. If there are a lot of employees in the companies, so they can divide the work between employees. When someone is absent, they can find someone else to do the work. They spend money on their holidays. Spending money leads to turning the economy around.For these reasons, I think that big companies have positive effect on society.
I agree that big companies have good effect on society. Big companies have enough money and skills to develop and produce eco-friendly products. such as electric cars or plastic bottle, which we can recycle. Big companies are known to a lot of people. It is easy for big companies to sell those products all over the country. Also, big companies have a good effort on economy. Big companies use a lot of money to buy things from other companies to give money to workers and to develop new products. Thanks to big companies, many people and other companies can get money. Therefore, I think that big companies have a positive effect on society.
I think that big companies have a positive effect on society. We have to solve environmental problems. Big companies know that many people work actively to protect the environment. For example, a major furniture manufacturer literally makes backpacks for school children out of recycled fibers. The recycled fibers are made from plastic bottles. This activity can reduce about 47% of CO2. Other companies work to protect the environment too. There is also a problem. The number of big companies is about 0.3% of the total number of companies, but their productivity is higher than small and medium-sized companies' productivity. Some people say that big companies monopolize our market. In addition, if they go down, the bad effects spread all over the world. We have to know this problem and change our society. It is important not to ignore large differences between big companies and small and medium-sized companies.
We think that big companies have a positive effect on society. Every year, many big companies sell new good products. Many people buy the products. Moreover, this can also cause a big social phenomenon. It has a good effect on the economy. These days, environment problems are paid attention to all over the world. For example, the ocean and sky is getting dirty. Many different animals are about to die out. Many big companies develop eco-friendly products such as Irohasu in order to solve this problem. The plastic bottle can be recycled easily. This activity has a good effect on the environment. Also, work-life balance is paid attention to in Japan. Many companies try to cut down overtime work, increase salary, take days off, and so on. For this reason, we think that big companies have a positive effect on society.
These days, the number of big companies that are committed to being eco-friendly is increasing. Do you know about the CSR activity? This is one of the methods that many of companies struggle with for establishing sustainable society. For example, Suntree Limited, a Japanese beverage company, plants trees in order to reduce some harmful gases and polluted water. This company's action is not only for saving the environment, but also for making improvement company's image. Some big companies realize that it is important for workers to have work-life balance. To balance both private life and work leads workers to stay healthy in mind, body, and spirit. If it were not for the work-life balance, companies could not make money efficiently. Therefore, maintaining work-life balance gives workers and companies the win-win situation. I suppose it is easier for big companies to take these actions. That's why a big company has a positive effect on society.
I agree that big companies have a positive effect in society. I have two reasons. To begin with, products made by big companies are safe and convenient. So a lot of people buy and use those products and our life become more convenient. The world is full of products made by big companies. That is the greatest effect that big companies have on society. In addition, big companies are also affecting the environment. For example, one company sells water in recyclable plastic bottles and another uses paper straws instead of plastic straws. Big companies have a lot of money, so they can develop these things quickly. For these two reasons, I think that big companies have a positive effect on society.
I think that big companies have a positive effect on society. Big companies help society by producing products. For example, the world is now affected by the new coronavirus. Masks have become the most needed for people all over the world. Big companies actively started producing masks. Big companies also started producing medical masks. Medical masks are donated to people in medical jobs. It is very helpful for medical masks and society. Big companies also help society in terms of the environment. For example, one of the biggest beverage companies, Centuries, tried to work to protect water. Centuries work to protect water. Centuries teaches elementary school students about the charm of nature, the importance of water, and some water pollution. The activity of Centuries is not only in Japan but also overseas. Other big companies also help society by planting trees and promoting recycling. This activity of big companies makes the world environment better. I think that big companies have a positive effect on society.
I think that big companies have a bad effect on society. They can produce many products, but sometimes too many products are made. Those surplus products are waste of resources. They also have a bad effect on small companies. Products produced by big companies are highly trusted and sell well. In other hand, products produced by small companies are less trusted than produced by big companies, so they do not sell well. If you had products produced by big companies and small companies in front of you, what would you do? Of course, you will choose the products of big companies with high trust, so it is hard for small companies to sell what they produce. The business will get worse. As a result, big companies have a bad effect on society.
I think that big companies have a positive effect on society. A big company eats starts ehomaki. Ehomaki is a food that people eat on a special day. A special day makes people happy. This is the first reason. Second reason is that big companies start to run all time. By doing so, people can go shopping all time. Third reason is that a big company made smartphones. Smartphone is very important for people living in the modern world. Fourth reason is that a big company made recycled soft chairs. Recycling is very important to the earth. A big company told us how important recycling is. In this way, big companies have a positive effect on society.
I agree that big companies have a positive effect on society. I have two reasons. To begin with, there are a lot of products that are friendly for the environment. For example, Starbucks, a famous coffee shop, decided to use straws which are made of paper instead of plastics. Plastic straws are very useful, but it is dangerous for animals living in the sea to eat plastic things by mistake. Some animals may die, which has an effect on humans. In addition, some big companies make efforts to reduce trash. For example, Uniqlo helps to reuse clothes. It sends used clothes to poor people. So, Uniqlo can reduce trash and poor people can wear clothes. This is why I think that big companies have a positive effect on society.
Thank you, speakers. Thank you, listeners. I love to stay longer, but I've got an engagement for dinner with my wife. I really appreciate your interest. I hope that our presentation today will help you with today's theme. A big company has a positive effect on society. Finally, there's one last thing I'd like to say. I will show you a sample answer. Thank you all for your patience. I wish you all a very good night. Good night. I agree that big companies have a positive effect on society. There are two major areas where this effect can be seen: the economy and work-life balance. Large companies generate huge amount of money, both for national economies or the global economy as a whole. Developing countries in particular benefit from the extra commerce created by such corporations. Furthermore, government receives considerable tax sums from these corporations, which can be used to fund public projects. The existence of big companies also leads to better conditions for workers. Large corporations employ thousands of people and are more likely to have the resources to keep their employees satisfied. Offering access to on-site gyms or implementing policies that limit overtime work, for example, significantly improve employees' work-life balance. Therefore, from the broader economic advantages to the individual benefit for workers, the effect that big companies have on society is most certainly positive.